how might you become a social media influencer in the public sector? Well, I've been putting my thoughts together and I've kind of got a number of points here. First of all, they have real followers. They're not paid for, and you can check if somebody has paid for their followers. And they're not just followed by bots. You can't control if you're followed by bots, you can block them. But they are in the main followed by real people, and you're trying to achieve at least over 85%. They're achieving an engagement rate of over 2% on the main social networks, so Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then if and when they join TikTok, they're probably achieving an engagement rate of over 10%. Their audience and their tribe is very responsive to their calls to action, their CTAs. So when they speak, their tribe listen, their tribe might advocate and share their content or even engage in conversation. But suffice to say, their tribe are there waiting for them to speak. They are influential among their peers. So they're looked upon by their peer group as somebody who has influence, who's willing to speak, who's willing to step up online and be visible. They also have a very consistent presence. So it's not ad hoc. It's not when the PR manager says, you know what, you haven't done a video on Twitter in the past 30 days. I think it's time to do one. Instinctively, they know that they need to show up, okay? Their content is in the public interest. They put the citizen at the center of what they say. They are mindful that if they're a politician, for example, you know, there's always an election around the corner and you need to mind your voter base. However, when you come from a place of putting the public interest and the citizen at the center of your social media content, this will differentiate you, and this is how you win. The voice is authentic, and that goes back to my previous point of being inspired to go online and to speak and to update your tribe on what's happening on key issues. Also, they're not afraid to show leadership in a crisis. They don't back away, they step up. Also, they might need to correct the record, so they're willing to interrupt the spread of disinformation and say what they have to say. They will also have strong search results. So when you Google a topic, for example, it might be data modeling around COVID-19 incidences in Galway in Ireland, for example. These individuals are coming up. And when I think about that example, I think about Professor Nolan, who does our data modeling for COVID-19 in this country. And so they're also commanding search. They're commanding Google and YouTube and not just commanding social. So we know that the internet is split into two halves. This is a crude way of looking at it. Search on one hand, social on the other. And then finally, they are followed with interest by journalists, because journalists know that in their tweets there is probably a news story, okay? It's probably not the main motivation for why they're on social, but journalists will be following them with interest and really see that they are vocal and that they're willing to speak and not hide away in the background. So they are my consulting tips on how you can become a social media influencer if you work in government and public sector.
The Public Sector Marketing Show. Courses, coaching and consulting in digital marketing designed for government and public sector. Visit publicsectormarketingpros.com.